In the early 2000s, video games were still seen as a medium predominantly made for children. That agreement, however, was about to change. Gaming in the 2000s was the epicenter of the pioneering into the 3D gaming world and simultaneously entered a mature audience. And it wasn't just gaming. What probably began as slipping an innuendo for the parents that will inevitably watch the media that children consume. Movies and games in the 2000s entered an era of edgy narratives, innuendo-based humor, and any mature theme that felt natural. The Sims woohooing, the entirety of Grand Theft Auto, Jack staring at everybody's ass.
It was mating season. How could I have known she was your sister? How long have you two been standing there?
Too long. But one of the front runners for pioneering this edginess was Rockstar Games. We all know Grand Theft Auto and the effect it had on gaming as a whole, freedom. But whilst the series revolutionized open world games and narrative-driven storytelling, it also brought in the consensus that video games made for adults was a pretty good idea. And everybody loses their damn minds. Gratuitous violence? I thought you meant violins. You can cut the head off a human? Evil. Committing crime in an interactive graphic novel? Unheard of. So naturally GTA wasn't available for all ages, and rightfully so to some extent. At the least, because you won't understand most of this when you're a kid. You'd appreciate it more as an adult. Fast forward to 2006, 2 decades ago, and Rockstar dropped Bully for the PS2. A GTA-style game set in a school. And everybody loses their damn minds. This game was targeted from its name. The pre-release backlash made them change the name from Bully to Canis Canem, which means dog eat dog. Anti-video game activists went all out as they still are today, but Rockstar was unfazed. Aside from the sexual themes of teenage romance, Bully was touted by most media, including video game review magazines, as a game where you are the bully. I remember being in primary school and reading about this game that you can dunk kids' heads in the toilet, throw marbles on the floor, get a girlfriend, give kids wedgies, fight, use a slingshot. It very much was like school, so much that I didn't want to touch it. I even had the same damn uniform and a similar badge, but now, after playing it for the first time as an adult, little Cheazy had lost his damn mind. Oh, don't get me wrong now, you can bully, but you're not the bully. These are the games that Rockstar built their name on being in the foreground of cutting-edge games. Even time hasn't stolen the credit due to this game, but time is the first mechanic you're introduced to. For a lot of people who didn't play Shenmue, Bully will be the first game where you're bound to a schedule and have limited time to make certain decisions. And this is a brilliant mechanic for an open world game set in a school, because classes, you have to get your ass to class and you can't be late. There are consequences, and each class has its own little mini game, which is just not boring enough to be considered a game, but also boring enough to be considered class. And each time you pass, you get a stat bonus or gameplay addition. At first, it's really suffocating. It's difficult to even do main quest missions without finishing a school day because you want to get class out the way, but soon you'll finish 5 class sessions of each and get to bunk without being truant. Somewhere around this time, the school gates open you up to the city to let you explore freely. Now, I just want to divert for a second. Hogwarts Legacy is a basic-ass game, but it could have been so much more. A huge part of this problem was the lack of the feeling that Persona 5 and Bully nails. There are consequences. You can't have school and freedom without consequences for inevitably making the wrong decisions. And oh, you can make the wrong decisions here. You can pick lockers, engage in engaging forms of combat and pranks. You get a slingshot, which very quickly becomes severely overpowered. You can throw fireworks and stink bombs. You can slap a kick me sign on somebody's back and watch the chaos ensue. Kiss the girls and make them cry. Be kissed by this thing and then be made to cry. The edginess of the 2000s really comes out because you get a whole ass health bonus when you do this, so you have to, and you have an entire quest line for select girls from every clique. But I just want Miss Phillips, man, damn. You can sneak into the girls' dorm and they all scream, bully the nerds. You probably won't do this on your first playthrough, but on the second, third, and fourth, there's no one else you'd rather bully because they deserve it. Nuts. They deserve it, but they give you the skateboard that turns this game into bomb-rich cyberpunk. Except you can hitch like Tony Hawk's Underground, but then you unlock the BMX to explore the neighborhoods of Bullwood Vale. Maybe stop by the clothes store, get new threads or a haircut. What's great? After 20 years, these graphics bring waves of nostalgia, and the game still looks great. The fuzzy graphics but saturated palettes, the vibe of PS2 games brought a new map to explore. For 2006, this is a big map, and there are a lot of places to explore. Firstly, the school's layout is big enough and full enough to function as a school, and then you get the dorms, the library, the gym and pool area, you get the field, and you get seasons. On a PS2 game, you also get these scattered hideouts throughout the map, which makes you think that maybe Jimmy is pretty impressive, and so are some of these kids. I mean, how the fuck you giving away a beach house? I can't even make rent, and to say this game is a bad influence. One of the crown jewels of Canis Bully is how they use narrative to introduce missions and use gameplay to move the missions, and the quality of the narrative. Man, why don't we get stories with writing like this anymore? Jimmy is an excellent protagonist. He doesn't say too much at the start, but you learn he's not to be underestimated. He's quick-witted, perceptive, and shrewd. You see it in how he interacts with adults. He comes off as a little man more than just a teenager at times. A good rule in school and prison and life: don't start none, and won't be none. And Jimmy embodies the sentiment well, and it's not just him. Every character in this game is written to show adult-like qualities from inexperienced, still mentally developing children. The best example is Gary, the psychopath of Bullwood. I already knew he was the main antagonist from the start. He's like an inexperienced Dutch vandalin, making Jimmy look like a mini Arthur, whispering in the ear of everybody, twisting words and framing people. Manipulative, and it's obvious manipulation to an adult, but the naivety of youth until experience teaches you otherwise. When you're young, you're more trusting. Speaking of trusting, the personalities of the nerds come off as niche interest kids who are the object of bullying, so they seem like victims, but as you do the story, you find out they just wish they were the bullies, and if given the slightest amount of power, show their true colors. A faux victim, similar to what's ruining games today. And the best part is these characters who make the story roam around the school freely, so I am free to kick their ass, and I do.
I got glad. Ow. You gonna cry now?
The school is divided up into cliques. The non-cliques, the bullies, the nerds, the preppies, the greasers, and then the jocks. And they represent how you progress through the story, from dealing with the big ape Russell to the sniveling rat that is honest, or the preppy brats and jealous Johnny and Lola and the greasers. Each term, Gary manipulates a new clique in the coming after you till eventually you take over the school. But here's where Rockstar falters. It's a common problem with them. Rockstar can't end games right. You have all these cliques, you have classes, and all these mechanics that you rely on daily in the game. You can get in trouble, and the more you get busted, you get punishments. But as you get to the top of school, almost immediately the inconsistencies start. Suddenly, no one believes you, and out of nowhere the game introduces a new outside school clique. You never heard of them till now. You never encountered them once before, and they are the townies, the dropouts. Essentially, adult kids who got expelled and didn't amount to anything start terrorizing the school, and there's no build-up. It's just a detour. It's an interesting threat for sure, because unlike school, these dudes want to kill Jimmy, but the jocks were the ones who had the most build-up. From the intro, you know the jocks are the last bosses, and then suddenly, because of Gary, you're expelled and you're left messing with the townies, and in all of this mayhem, suddenly the entire school breaks out into a chaos that just doesn't seem right. And by this moment, there are no classes left for you to take, so there's no way to extend the days. It all kind of feels like it happens in one in-game day. Then after dealing with the townies, you head back to school to deal with the finale with Gary, but he's been pretty quiet throughout the game. It's hard to hate him as much as I hate the nerds because of his absence. It's no surprise too, because the game was rife with development obstacles and crunch time issues. It had problems before it had controversy, but this is like complaining that one pickle in your big burger tasted funny. It doesn't ruin the game. It's just the teething problems that Rockstar faced. And whilst they had teething problems, Bully never once suffered from narrative consultants extorting them into fulfilling some dumbass checkbox and ruining their story with corporate bullshit. Bully will never be made today. It's too misogynistic, it's too abusive, it's too controversial, it punches down. Jimmy is more masculine and less vulnerable than reboot Kratos. Somebody with and has been offended, and unlike the 2000s, the more offended you are today, the more likely you'd win against media like this, cause everybody bends their knee and everybody else likes to pretend nothing's happening behind behind the scenes, and that's why I'm putting fully on Cheazy's full course of gourmet gaming as the meat dish. Because in this era of locust pepperoni pizza, this is a medium rare steak, and no matter how good it is, there's always gonna be somebody waiting to tell you how you eating that meat makes them lose their damn minds.
Now come and kill us.